name is Angela, and this is the start of my new YouTube channel. Okay, I look so tired right now. Okay, but we don't make fun of our appearances, so you know, it's fine. Not super expecting this video to get that many views, considering first of all, I'm just like talking and stuff. But also this is my first video on this channel, so I guess we'll see how this goes. So I really wanted to talk about just like having a kind of existential crisis. Even as a teenager, you always hear about like these middle-aged like parents and like teachers, or like, I don't know, people in the working industry having their midlife crises. People tend to always look past teenagers' feelings because they always tell you like, oh, you're just a kid, like you wouldn't know, like you'll understand when you grow up. But I think that's really dumb because, yeah, I'm just a kid, but I'm definitely old enough to be able to tell my own feelings and stuff, you know? And I think that people really spend too much time talking about like an older person's midlife crisis versus a teenager's crisis as well, because teenagers do have like, I don't know, like a quarter life crisis. Hopefully not quarter. I don't want to die when I'm like 60. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? So, especially growing up in this generation, I feel like it's so hard to just like be yourself and be free from judgment, because judgment is literally everywhere. I know my concealer is like too light for my skin tone, but we're just gonna go with it. It's so hard because we're always like trapped in this age of technology where everyone is constantly just having an opinion on literally everything. Social media is so all-consuming because technology is so all-consuming. It's like always there, it's always in your face, and there's really not much that you can do about it other than just kind of accept it, which is so sucky, but it's just really the reality of the world we are living in now. So I feel like even though I love sharing my like life online, and I love posting pictures, and I love like, you know, creating an aesthetic Instagram page and everything, it's like so hard for me to put more, to like truly express deeper things on my social media platforms. Even just posting like a relationship or something, I'm always very cautious because of outside judgment. And I feel like when my friends say stuff to me, it does tend to affect me pretty easily, because obviously as like a human being, I do value their opinions and I do want their like validation. And so, especially recently, I've just been trying really hard to not let that kind of stuff affect me. And so like all of this is obviously easier said than done, right? Like, oh, like not letting people's opinions affect you. It sounds all very unbelievable, because like who doesn't care about what other people are thinking about them? Like, it's so easy to say that you don't care and to pretend that you don't care, but I don't think I know anyone who genuinely does not care what other people think of them. So I've definitely like been thinking about that a lot, because like I don't want other people's opinions to be heavily affecting the way I live my life, because it's my life, it's not theirs. And frankly, even if I do post a picture of like, oh, like my new boyfriend, or like, I don't know, something else, then it's not, I'm not asking for their opinion. Like, I'm not asking them to rate how good looking he is. Like, I didn't ask for that. Like, I don't want my friends sliding up and being like, oh, like he's too ugly for you, or like, oh, like, you know, that feels like it's crossing a line in a way. So I say all this because like I recently got into a new relationship, and I posted like one picture on my story of me and him, and immediately like so many people were like, oh my god, what's his name? Like, tell me his name, tell me his Instagram, tell me, you know, everything. And I just felt a little uncomfortable, but I was like, well, yeah, like I posted him, like people are gonna be asking, you know, like it's fine. So I did like show them like a picture of him and stuff, and it was like so just like uncomfortable, because some of my friends would be like, oh, like he doesn't, like he's kind of ugly, or like I don't like how he looks or something, or like, oh, his Instagram's so cringy. But the thing is, like, I didn't, like, when I posted him on my story, I never like wanted people to just be like bashing him like that. Like, no one really deserves for that to happen. And especially on the internet, people will just say literally whatever they want to say. And so immediately I realized that posting him was probably a mistake, because I really like didn't want people's outside opinions just like clashing into my life. Because like, I don't really care if you think he's ugly, you know? I don't want to know. So another thing that's been going on that's really like been that really affected me recently, or not affected me, but like it influenced me and I wanted to talk about it, is my friend found this new guy as well, and so they've been talking a little bit. But the thing is, she has been a bit nervous about how she's coming off to him, like how he's like perceiving her, which is totally understandable. Like, that totally makes sense. Like, you know, when you meet a new person, especially a romantic interest, you want them to like you. You want to make a good impression. You want to seem interesting. Like, you don't want to seem boring. You don't want to seem dry. You don't want to like look ugly or something. Like, I feel like that's totally fine. That's obvious. But one thing we were talking about is like how she was kind of like afraid to be herself, because she had such a fear that he would find her annoying. And she like wanted to prevent herself from like talking too much, or like asking too many questions, or being like too excited, for fear that he would be like, oh, like, you know, like she's kind of annoying. And I think that this kind of like fear is so common. I mean, like, this video specifically talking about like a crisis among like teenagers and stuff. So even though like this like worry is probably definitely prominent in like all age groups, I definitely think that teenagers kind of struggle with like being truly themselves a lot, just because like they're so afraid of the judgment that'll come from other people. It's really hard to put yourself out there and truly be yourself, and just trust that people will like you for the way you are, because sometimes you like don't really even like yourself. Like, you find yourself a little bit annoying and you don't even want to be around yourself. And so it's hard to believe that other people would want to be around you. And so like when she said that, I really realized that I also like have that problem where I'm like literally afraid of being myself, because I'm afraid that people find me annoying, or I feel this kind of pressure to be what everyone else thinks I am based on the way like I portray myself, like based on the way I look, or based on the way like I talk and stuff. I think it's just so suffocating sometimes to try and be exactly what other people think you are, and try to be what you think that they want you to be, instead of being what you are. I don't know if any of this is actually making sense. I feel like I'm just rambling, but maybe the people who watch this will kind of relate to what I'm saying. So personally for me, I used to be so unabashedly unafraid of just like being myself. And by like used to be, I mean literally in like elementary school. Like, I was like, you know, I was just not afraid at all. Like, I would talk, I would say whatever I was thinking, which honestly wasn't too great for me, because I got into so much trouble in elementary school with my teachers from just talking all the time, and my teachers would get so triggered. They'd be like, oh my god, just shut up already. And I also was like not very popular in elementary school. Like, I had my friends and people knew who I was, but I wasn't like, you know, like widely liked by people, maybe because I was annoying. But I feel like oftentimes I really like miss the feeling of being so young. Like, of course I am young right now still, I'm like only 16 years old, you know, but just that feeling of not really caring what other people think of you, and not being afraid to express your own interests and do what you want to do. Although now that I think about it, even like as a young child, I definitely was afraid of being grouped in with like a certain group of girls. Like, I really just wanted to like stand out. I wanted to be unique. I wanted to be not like the other girls, one might even say. So I would wear like shoes that were like gender neutral. And I had this one pair of shoes that I didn't even necessarily just like how they looked, because they were kind of ugly. I mean, they were like black Nikes with like neon orange like designs on them. And I was like, I wore them every single day, no matter what. And they totally did not match anything I owned, but I wore them because I was proud of the fact that I could tell people that they were gender neutral. I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, like I just like wearing like boy stuff, like I'm just really chill, you know, like I'm a tomboy, like I'm athletic and I'm like not high maintenance or something. And obviously like that's not really how I was. I really loved girly things as a child, but I didn't want to be portrayed that way to my classmates, because I could sense that in a way that was kind of like pathetic. Like I just wanted to be cool, and elementary school was at the time like it was such a bad thing to be like a girly girl. Like everyone wanted to be like a tomboy or like, you know, into like boy stuff, because then it's like you're not like the other girls, you know, you're cool and you like don't care what other people think. And then in middle school, I also really cared what people thought. And specifically in middle school, I had this phase where, it's like so hard to do this. I had this phase where I really like was just yearning for male validation. And I think most girls probably have a phase in their life where they had a bit of like a male validation phase. And like, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about it now, but it is, I mean, it was definitely there, especially in 8th grade. I was 13 and I had just transferred to a new school, and it was like a kind of high, because it was like for the first time people, well, boys were like finding me attractive and like telling me they had a crush on me and stuff like that. And it really was just like a kind of high, because I never experienced that before, and I really liked the attention that it gave me. And so I realized that kind of feeling came from like boys. So in 8th grade, I, in like an embarrassing way, would go out of my way to hang out with boys. I would go out of my way to hang out with them, even if it wasn't necessarily as fun or as comfortable as hanging out with my girlfriends, because I thought that it would make me cooler. And to be perfectly honest, it did make other people think of me as cooler, which is just so pathetic. Because my girlfriends would be like, Angela, like you're so cool, like how are you friends with so many boys? Like I can never like talk to boys, like it feels so awkward, like I don't know what to do. Can you please teach me? Can you please introduce me? Like I really want to be friends with some boys. And I was like just weirdly proud of myself in like a gross social climbing way that I was able to make friends with these guys. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Being friends with guys, it doesn't make you cooler, okay? It actually, most of the time, it's probably not a good thing if you're a girl and most of your friends are boys, because most boys are genuinely disgusting. Like most boys genuinely have some problems, but that is just a topic for another time. The point is, at the time, I think I wanted to be so badly this just cool girl that was always around boys, because that's what was cool and that's like what I wanted to be. That was my middle school phase of just trying to like fit in and trying to be kind of someone who I wasn't. Because when I entered high school, I totally fell out of it with all of these guys, because I kind of like, I thought we were friends, but a lot of like drama would go down. And it's so funny to me when girls say, I only get along with guys, like I don't really have any girlfriends because girls are too much drama. Because let's be honest, that's just a lie. Like guys are just as much drama. And if you're a girl who has had a lot of guy friends, you would probably agree with me. I think it's definitely safe to say that guys are just as dramatic, if not more dramatic. I do have that tendency to kind of be afraid of maybe talking too much or not talking enough or not being funny enough or not being pretty enough. because I'm afraid that people won't like me, which is crazy because that's not how friendship or relationships are supposed to work. Like, if someone doesn't like you for who you are, then you shouldn't be hanging around them anyways. But I think like it's just human nature to not really realize that and to try and switch your personality to fit whoever you're around so that you can be accepted. And so it's hard because like I never really can tell if people genuinely like me or not, because like in this day and age everyone's gossiping about everyone. You know, my friends talk like crap about their other friends to me, and so I'm just like, are you talking about me to your other friends like that, you know? Like, you never really know what people are thinking, and it's just really scary because everyone's just kind of two-faced, to be honest, which sounds so bad, but I've got to say most people I've met are pretty two-faced. So then you just kind of get to this point where you're not even sure like what exactly is the real you, just because you kind of feel like there's different versions of yourself. I don't know why I keep saying you, because this is just specific to me, and I guess some of my friends that I've talked to. And so I just feel like I kind of have a different persona for like different friend groups, and I'm just not really sure at any given moment kind of what my real personality is, or like who I really am. It's probably somewhere in the middle, you know, like a middleman of like all of those kind of versions, mini versions of like who I'm trying to be. And I think like as we grow older, it does become more apparent that you shouldn't really be caring that much about what everyone else is thinking, because you know, you only live once, you really do. And I tend to tell myself that all the time, because life can end just like that. Like it's insane how fast life can end, and you don't want to be wasting all of your precious moments on wondering if you're pretty enough, or wondering if you're funny enough, wondering if you're being too boring, or someone doesn't like you, because who cares if they don't like you, to be honest. Like, there's so many people in the world. If that person doesn't like you, find someone else. Because even if 99% of the people, and even if 99% of people find you annoying, or find you ugly, or find you whatever, like they have a problem with you, there will always still be that 1% of people who love you for who you are. Another kind of existential crisis of a teenager, I think, is the fear of failure. Feeling like you're not enough. Especially in like this generation, it's so easy to feel like that, especially just with like social media, you know, people are always posting the best versions of themselves. And it's so funny to me when people compare themselves to like influencers and models online, because I mean, of course they're going to be showing their best selves online, because why would you not? Like, you know, why would you want to post a picture of you being bloated if you have this other picture of you looking amazing and super skinny in like a bikini or something? And that is how models and celebrities are thinking too. And so it's totally unfair to be comparing yourself to someone online's life, because it's just a small snippet of what their life actually is like. And you really don't know what's going on behind someone's screen, or someone's pictures, or someone's videos. It's really hard to realize that everyone is having their own struggles, especially when someone looks so perfect online. And it's so easy to project your insecurities on other people, or like just be affected by them. And it's so bad to feel like someone else's beauty or someone else's success takes away from yours. But in the world that we live in, there's competition everywhere, and it's so hard to feel just as beautiful or just as successful, or feel like you're living your life to the fullest when you see these other people posting their lives on social media, looking way more happy and way more successful than you are. And it's so easy to hastily compare yourself to these people online, even if you know that they're posting the best version of themselves. And so that's why I think social media totally, in so many ways, is so amazing, because I love seeing what my friends are up to online. I love sharing my life with other people online. I love looking back on my Instagram or my YouTube or something and seeing everything that I've been doing and been like accomplishing and things. But it takes a mature person to use social media and not get tangled up in everything that is being portrayed on it, and not get tangled up into other people's lives and comparing yourself with everyone else. Another thing is, I feel like as teenagers, it's especially because I'm going into senior year, everyone's talking about, you know, career and like how would your SAT go and what college are you going to be applying to, and it's so stressful because the American education system and most, I think, education systems even outside America are really expecting us as like 17-year-olds to decide what we literally like want to be doing for the next 4 years, if not for the rest of our lives. And I've been writing my Common App essay, and my friends and my parents keep telling me to write about, oh, just write about who you are and like what you want to do with your life and like what you want to, like how you want to impact society. But it's like, I'm only 16, like I'm not sure who I am, like I don't even know what that means. It's nearly impossible to ask someone to kind of summarize their whole life in 650 words and try to come off as interesting and talented and inspired and creative within like a page of words. Maybe this is an American thing, or maybe it's a teenage thing, or maybe it's just a life thing, but people are always expecting you to be productive and be doing you know, productive things and working hard for your future, but that really takes away from just living and reflecting on what's right in front of you and what it is that truly makes you happy. Because of course college and your future and career and things, making money, it's so important, but it's also easy to look over the little things like the sunset. This is so corny, but like I feel like just like seeing the sunset every night and being grateful that I'm even alive or in a location where I'm able to be seeing the sunset every night is such a simple yet beautiful thing that I'm too busy worrying about the rest of my life to even enjoy that. I feel like I've talked for 30 minutes at this point, and I feel like there's still so many things that I could be mentioning, just because, which is just like proving my point of saying how teenagers really do have existential crises too, and they're just as important as midlife crises. We're all in like a very fragile age that can be easily impacted, and it's easy to lose yourself as a teenager because people are always giving you excuses like, oh, you're only this age, or like you're just a kid, or like you have your whole life in front of you. But honestly, life is over just like that. Like, you might be young right now, but you could die at any given moment, and it's scary to not be appreciating life even at a young age, or like being too busy to stop and enjoy life. I don't know if any of this is actually making sense, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to try to make this channel into a bit of like a, you know, like I'll like do my makeup and like have a talk about something. I don't know, it might completely change, I have no idea, but that's kind of my vision for this right now, because I have a lot of opinions on, you know, like societal problems or just like being a teenager and stuff. There's a lot to talk about, so please subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment down below. I want to hear your guys' opinions, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.